Hi, we're out on the range today, so please bear with gunfire you hear in the background. Now it's winter time, and recently a viewer contacted me asking about how the winter would affect your firearms and ammunition choices as far as concealed carry. The idea being that in the northern parts of the United States, like Montana, North Dakota, Minnesota, the list goes on, that you may be called upon to shoot a target that's wearing multiple layers of thick clothing. And can fabric clogging retard the expansion of a hollow point projectile? Can all those layers retard penetration? And can all of that together just lower your effectiveness? And if so, to what degree? Now those are some really good questions. Let's see if we can, at least to an extent, answer them. Now this is our meat target, actually two meat targets next to each other, and there's a reason for that. And it's leather jacket skin followed by a pork chop pectoral, pork ribs, a bag of grapefruit lung tissue, more ribs on the back, and the whole thing is wrapped up with this saran wrap. But he's naked. Let's put some clothes on him. Now he's wearing a long sleeve t-shirt with a short sleeve t-shirt over it, but that's not enough. Let's put on some more. So we've got our long sleeve t-shirt and our short sleeve t-shirt, but now we've added a polo shirt and this nice insulated vest. But let's go one more layer. And we've added a fifth layer of this nice insulated winter coat. Now when we shoot this, I want to start with something small and work our way up. So I'll start with my baby Browning caliber .25 ACP. And we'll shoot his right side, which will be our left side, and I'll shoot 6 shots. 3 of which are Remington green and white box 50 grain full metal jacket round nose, and 3 are Hornady custom 35 grain jacketed hollow point. Then we'll shoot on his left side, which will be our right as we look at it, with this Beretta model 1934 and caliber .380 ACP. And again we'll shoot 6 shots, 3 of which are Remington Golden Saber 102 grain jacketed hollow point, and 3 are Hornady Critical Defense 90 grain FTX projectile, like a ballistic tip. And we'll shoot from 7 yards and see what happens. So how'd we do? Well, with our .25 ACP, all of our projectiles went completely through the meat target, and they were stopped by the clothing on the back of the target. With our .380 ACP, all of them went completely through the meat target, but only a couple of them were stopped by the clothing. The other 4 went into the first or second layer of fleece. So as far as penetration goes, it looks like we're doing just fine. But what about hollow point expansion? Let me show you a close-up of the projectiles. Now with our .25 ACP projectiles, of course our full metal jacket ammunition did not expand at all. But with our Hornady custom hollow points, we see one expanded and the others just didn't. But the question comes up, from a .25 ACP, how much hollow point expansion could you really expect? Well, off camera I fired these 2 projectiles just into a water jug, and so you can see this ammunition does give satisfactory expansion under ideal conditions. But under the less than ideal conditions of shooting through 5 layers of clothing, the expansion just wasn't there. Now with our .380 ACP projectiles, on your left are the Golden Sabers, and we see one expanded very well, the other 2 did not. One of those that didn't has a lot of fabric clogged in the hollow point. With our Hornady Critical Defense FTX projectiles, we see 2 of them expanded very well, and 1 did not. So what can we take away from all of this? Well, we saw that with the .25 ACP, all of the projectiles went through the clothing on the front, through the meat target, and were stopped by the clothing on the back of the target. So if we're getting that kind of performance out of a .25, then we can infer that the penetration you're going to get from a 9x19, a 40 Smith & Wesson, a .45 ACP, etc., is going to be more than adequate. But what about hollow point expansion? Well, with the .380 we saw that the penetration was there. Only a couple of the projectiles were stopped by the clothing on the back of the target. The rest went into the fleece bullet stop. But the hollow point expansion was really inconsistent. Now we don't want to hang our hats on the results of this demonstration today, but based on this and other things I've shot in the past, I can tell you that .380 ACP hollow point expansion quite often is inconsistent. But we did see some fabric clogging of hollow point projectiles. So I would say that if you're in a position where you think you might have to shoot through many layers of clothing, like you work for the Secret Service and you're at the North Pole on the Santa Claus protection detail, then switching to some kind of FTX or ballistic tip type of projectile may be something you want to look into. So as always, don't try this at home on what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the heavy clothing video.